7.10 systems of equations. I can solve systems of equations.
Excellent. Can we solve systems of equations?
Yes.
It's going to take some work and some practice, but I think we're there. All right, so a system of equations, 2 or more algebraic equations with 2 or more variables that are unknown. So like x and y is what we're going to probably stick with most of the time. A solution would be what? A solution to a system of equations is expressed as a what?
Ordered pair.
It's expressed as an ordered pair. So it's where both equations are the exact same. Yes, no?
Yes.
Cool. And then the transitive property is key to this. Kind of a little puzzle. If A is equal to B, and C is also equal to B, what is A going to be equal to? C. Okay, just from common sense. And then solving system of equations, we have our own little way of doing it. So number 4 is an example in black there of 2 equations that have 2 variables that are not solved. Because y is 2x plus 1, and because y is also 4x, what is true about 2x plus 1 and 4x? They equal each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to set them equal to each other down here in our t-chart, or our kind of t-chart, right? And then we have 2x plus 1 equals 4x. Our job is to get like terms together and solve for x, right? So we did all of that, and what did we find x was? 1/2. So we talked about this all year. Smart people do what?
Check their work.
Check their work. But we can check our work either here or here, can't we?
Yeah.
So it looks like we decided to use this one to check our work. So we have y equals 4 times x, which is what? 1/2, right? X is 1/2. And then what's 4 times 1/2? 2. And then again, we said our answer is an ordered pair. So the answer is 1/2, 2. Okay, now when I go to the, uh-oh, what did I do? It's still in the same spot that I don't want it. So let's see if I can go to the next one. Okay, so we have, what was our ordered pair again, you guys?
1/2, 2.
1/2, 2. Okay, sorry for the choppiness, but here is our system of equations that we just solved for, right? And if we graph the system of equation, you guys are capable of graphing y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals 4x, right?
Yeah.
And if you graph both of them, they come together right there. Their graph intersects at 1/2 and, I'm sorry, 1/2 and 2, right? Which we said the answer was 1/2, 2. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, we cool with that?
Yeah.
So here's another example of a system of equations. We solved it the exact same way we did the last one, and you have it in your notes as far as the graph, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip down to number 8. What is different about number 8 compared to our other 2 system of equations?
There's 3 equals something.
We don't have a variable alone, right?
Yeah.
There is no variable alone. X and Y are on the same side on both of them, right?
Yeah.
So now look at our t-chart. How many parts of the t-chart do we have?
3.
We have part 1, we have part 2, and we have part 3. Part 1 is simply doing what? Getting x alone, right? Could we also get y alone?
Yeah.
Does it matter which one you use?
No.
You could use either equation to try to get x or y alone. Once you have a variable alone, we got x alone, we can take this and plug it back into, what do we use? X minus 3y? We use this one. So once we figured out what x was, we can plug it right back into the other equation, right? So we plugged it in 5 times x, which is 11 plus 3y, right? Plus y equals 7. Solve for, what are we solving for? Because I asked you, what are we solving for? Just kidding. We're solving for y. And once we know what y is, we can plug it into either of our 2 equations, right?
Yeah.
And that gives us x. And then your final answer is an ordered pair. And then you can graph that, right?
Yeah.
The last problem, Sarah's in Mexico shopping for the best jet ski rental company. A lot of you use an XY chart to solve this one, which is totally awesome. If you wanted to solve using a system of equations, you simply have to write your 2 equations. One company charges $60 per hour, right here, company B, and according to your word problem. Another company charges $50 per hour plus a $40 flat fee. Yes, no? We solved using a system, and then you guys also told me, and we saw on the chalkboard actually, that we can solve it using just an XY chart as well. And the answer is, if you rent jet skis, if Sarah rents jet skis for 4 hours, either company works. It's the exact same price. But if you rent jet skis for less than 4 hours, you're going to go with company. You're going to go with company. Is it A?
B.
It's company B. So if you rent for 1 hour, What's 60 times 1?
60.
So company A for 1 hour charge you $60. If you rent with, I'm sorry, this is company B. If you rent with this company down here, how much would it cost you?
90.
50 times 1 plus 40 would cost you 90. So if you're going to go for 1 hour and you want the best value, you're going to go with company B, right?
Yeah.
But if you get to 5 hours, is that going to change?
Yes.
Yes. Then the other company becomes the better value. Questions before I stop?